brought to you by Squarespace. Hello there. I have emerged from my December hibernation to bring you some special little treats. That's right. It's once again time for my annual sketchbook tour. So if you've watched literally any of my other sketchbook tours, you probably know the drill. I tend to fill only about one sketchbook per year because I have many other creative pursuits that I am usually very distracted by. And whenever it comes to my sketchbook, this is a very personal, indulgent thing. Everything that I put in my sketchbooks is really just genuine art that I feel like drawing. I don't like to put a lot of time restraints on it besides just saying like, hey, I'm gonna try to finish it up this year, which typically is not difficult because this is not the thickest sketchbook in the world. So for clarity, I am pretty sure that I began this sketchbook actually in August of 2024, so there's just a little bit of overlap from last year. Most of this is art from this year, so you'll be able to see a little bit of my stylistic progression and experimentation just from this spin around the sun. So I am not going to continue filibustering my own sketchbook tour. I'm gonna get into it. But of course, if you are an artist watching this video, I highly recommend keeping your own sketchbook for all of the aforementioned reasons. It's also just really good for showcasing more iterative works to your audience and your clients. And similarly, a portfolio is a really great way to showcase your more professional, polished stuff to your audience and clients alike. And you can make one of those if you don't already have one using this video sponsor, Squarespace. I've hosted my own portfolio with Squarespace for years now, and they are by far the easiest portfolio/website service that I've personally used. Not only is creating your portfolio super easy because you could start out with professionally designed customizable website templates, which allow you to present your portfolio however you'd like, which is really important for like professionalism and branding. But Squarespace also has other super intuitive tools like automatic image scaling, which allow you to keep your galleries updated with the click of a button, and then they will arrange them all for you to make it look nice and easily presentable. And their drag and drop website building tool itself, Fluid Engine, also makes the customization go a layer deeper and really gives you control over every single aspect of your website. Presentation is so important to our work as artists, so I really appreciate how hands-on all of this system is without being like extremely confusing and bamboozling. But Squarespace isn't just a website builder. They also have all the tools that you could possibly need to run your website. They have mailing lists, they have exclusive membership features, they have SEO tools, and my personal favorite, their integrated e-commerce platform, because many of us artists also sell our pretty art. And they even have an integrated custom merch feature that I personally use that allows you to partner with a print-on-demand service that will handle inventory, production, and shipping for you. So if you are interested in launching your own portfolio or website, you can head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch your site, you can head to squarespace.com/pricklyalpaca to save 10% off your first purchase of website or domain. Thank you so much, as always, to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Now let's get into the sketchbook tour. So getting right into it, many people ask and are curious. I'm pretty sure this is an 8x10 Master's Touch multimedia sketchbook. It's the one I usually use just because the multimedia paper is good for all of the little things that I get my fingers into. And you'll see there's a lot of different mediums going on in here, so I just like to have my bases covered for whether I'm using like alcohol markers or acrylic paints or just a pen. It's not textured. I hate texture on my paper. I like a smooth paper. It's just best for my particular art style. But here is the cover of the finished sketchbook, which has changed a little bit since the intro in this video. I wanted to go in and like add just a little bit more detail in a couple of places. I also may have added the orbs. I actually don't remember whether I had those yet. But my main thing I did was I went in and I like added more rendering to the armor because I was like, it kind of just looks a little bit flat, which I kind of like and I kind of don't like. The particular set of markers I have, the range of grays or like blue grays is not fantastic, so I don't know, it looks a little muddy, but I think as a whole it's still nice. And the other thing I did, because I'm sick of my art like not being well protected, because I always paint my covers and then I seal it with like an acrylic clear and then it still like eventually comes off. This time I just slapped a bunch of UV resin on this baby, which makes it extremely high gloss, which is a little inconvenient for like viewing it at any kind of angle, but this paint under here it's not going anywhere. So I'm undecided if I'm gonna like this in the long run. It does make the paint itself a little bit more blurry than it was before, which I don't love. Some of that's because I have alcohol markers in this too, and those just bleed like crazy. I don't know. I think it's okay. I like that my art is somewhat well protected. Anyways, let's open this baby up. So on this first like cover page, I thought this was actually like this page over and not the hardcover. So I was just doing a bunch of studies of Buffy Summers here, and then I realized this was the cover page. Because usually I do other things on my cover page. I cover it with stickers, I tape in drawings, I like get it real messy, but I didn't do that as much here with like some of this. Obviously I still have a bunch of stickers in here, but it started out with just a bunch of Buffys. And I've been kind of on a quest to learn how to draw Sarah Michelle Gellar's face because I love Buffy and I like drawing fan art of her. And I think this representation versus past sketchbooks is getting a little bit better. Like these three in particular I think look a lot like her, so that's fun. Other than that, I just have a bunch of stickers. I have some Arcane stuff. I have like some snippets from places that I have been this past year. And then I have some stickers from shops that I've purchased from. Here, Fennec Design, and then this is where I got my desk pad from. Hold on. I'm pretty sure this shop is called Simca Soul. They have super cute desk mats if you're looking for one and it's not AI slop. So highly recommend. The one I have has like cute mice on it, so that's always fun. I also have, I think this is a Spider-Man movie, you know, stub from, I think this is when I went to see the rerun of Spider-Man 2 in theaters, because I'm a nerd. But yeah, that's in there too. So the actual first page here, I did this last winter, because like I said, this extends a little bit into last year. I was just drawing like a wintry magical sword lady. I was just in the mood to do that. And then this is like some makeup study things from Pinterest. I kind of just lumped them together into a wintry magical girl, and as a spread I think it's very cute. I think this spread does have a little bit of like a magical girl transformation energy to it, which I think is quite fun because there's like a sequence happening here, almost, sort of. I don't know. I think that the colors are very pleasing. On this page over here, I was trying to use gouache again. I ordered a new set of jelly gouache because mine always like dries up, and you can resaturate it with water, but it takes a while. I don't know. I also did not like the color scheme in my old gouache set. I like this one better, but gouache continues to elude me. Like, I think these are fine. I think they're pretty cute as like little studies, but I just, more and more, I find that I don't enjoy the process of using gouache. And those of you who like it, like, go off, but I still don't get the hype. I've watched tutorials, I've done research. It's probably not for me, and it might be because I just enjoy using acrylic paint too much, and it works better for my process, but all in all, these are still cute. It's just, you know, it's okay. They're fine. Over here, I was drawing my character Ruby. Some of you know her from my Fruit Vampires video and from the video where I like designed her older form here, like this. So I was drawing her like adult form a little bit more, just trying to get a feel for it, and also experimenting with some colors that I have that might work well for her, because sometimes color matching from your like digital stuff and translating it to traditional, it's just hard. And I'm still looking for colors that work well for like her hair and skin tone and outfit and everything, but I don't think my colors came out bad here. I think they're pretty good between my alcohol markers and my acrylic paint pens. I also drew some strawberries because of course I did. And this sticker is actually one of my holographic stickers that I got printed with Vogue Race a couple of years ago when I did that sponsorship. And I don't sell these, I only ever give them to people in person. So like if you ever find me at a convention, at a Ren fair, anywheres, I will probably give you a cute sticker of some kind, because that's like how I participate in the trinket trading culture, which I think is really fun. And maybe I'll sell them at some point, but so far I've just been giving them away because I think that's fun. Over here, I just have some random girlies, and not so random, I have some Chapel Roans, because not even I am immune to the Chapel Roan hype. I mean, it was really just the Sword Lady VMA's performance, and then I was like, okay, you got me too. I'm there with you. Anyways, I'm a big fan of Chapel Roan's like looks and aesthetics. Me and like literally every other person on planet Earth. So I did a couple of doodles of her here. Just a couple of different looks. And then these stickers too are from Lady Eppie, because I think I ordered from her or did a collab or something. I don't remember what this order is from, but she sent me some stickers too, and they're so cute. I love the Elmo meme, the chivalrous Elmo. I have the shirt of this too, and it's the best thing. We love it. Continuing on, we have a big spread of quintessas, just drawing some different full body and half body and headshots of her. Again, trying to get more of a hang for her new design, because I did redesign her this past year to give her like more of a distinct face shape, finalize her colors because I had never done that, and then also finalize her outfit design because I had a rough idea for outfit design, but then I also like had never done that either. So some of these have like her old outfit design, which is like my approximation, and then these two I think are current with how I actually draw her now, and so is this one. So I like some of these. Others I think are less consistent. I don't know. This is a little bit of a weird sketchbook for me, and just weird art year in general, because I did not draw as much as I intended to, especially traditionally, so I'm gonna complain about it a little bit in this sketchbook tour, but I like most of these. It's really just this one. The proportions are a little wonky, and I don't think the face looks like her, at least not anymore. This one's okay, but like I really like this one, and then here you can see a haunting face in the background where I was like trying to do a headshot, and then I said actually no, I just couldn't get it right, so I drew over it, and you can still see it a little bit because the paint is a little transparent. Haunting, terrifying. I'll cover it up eventually, maybe, who knows. Also just a little sticky note quintessa, a little bit more stylized. It doesn't really look like her, but you know, sometimes I'll throw one of those into a sketchbook. Here's something I did a little bit more of in this sketchbook, just drawing structures, particularly Queen Anne Victorian houses, which are fun. These are all studies from Pinterest, except for this one is a little bit more Frankenstein, but these two are actual structures that I found on there. I'm pretty certain they're not AI. I think I found this one where it is, like the physical location. I think it's a real one, and I'm pretty sure this one is too. I'm trying my best here. It's getting so hard. We live in hell is all I want to say, but I'm still out here trying, and I really like how these came out, even though they're a bit of a struggle and they're still very novice, like house studies. I had fun with them, and then in the end I also went back on this one and I drew like little ghosts in the windows because I was like mid-spooky season, and I was like, actually this needs some little ghosties in the windows, so pretty happy with those. Here we have a sketch of my other comfort OC, Rose Thornblade. Quintessa and Rose, both, I guess, are my main comfort OCs. They're the ones that I draw the most. Ruby is also getting there as a comfort OC of mine. I'm still getting used to drawing her because her design is so specific, and when a character design is specific, it brings the art fear out in me, but I have more experience drawing these other two ladies. But anyways, this is a mixed bag page as well, but I was just kind of drawing some like full body poses, some half body, you know, a spread, a little snack. And some of these I think look like her, and I I think these two generally look like her. I think this is okay, and then these three feel off. It's just like not the proportions that I like to draw in, and that happens a lot in the sketchbook because sometimes I'll like just xenomorph. That's not even related. You know what I mean? I'll just adopt a different art style suddenly for no reason, and then I'm like, hey, what happened to my actual art style? Where did it go? Which I would consider to be closer to like this, like semi-realistic anime inspired, but still a little bit more detailed and capturing like the forms. I don't know. It happens. Also, naked, because why not? This is a study directly of something off Pinterest. I just thought the pose was cute, so I was like, we'll draw a rose like that. You're welcome, fan service. Also, another sticker from Eppie's store, a little dragon with a sword, because sword lady, I don't have to explain that. Moving on, this was another spread that I did back in 2024 during the spooky season. One of the first ones I probably did in this sketchbook, because I also like jumped around a bunch. I did not fill this sketchbook in sequential order. I rarely do that these days. It is so chaotic, and I don't know if it's good for me artistically or not. Sometimes I think it's nice. Anyways, I was just drawing spooky things. I drew my spooky lesbian vampires here, which is like the strawberry dress girl and the goth dress girl. These are my iteration of it. Many artists have their own iteration, but I have a tradition of drawing them in my sketchbook at least once. I should draw them more. I just forget to, frankly, because I have a lot of OCs. We did pumpkins, obligatory pumpkins, and then I was just doodling. It says August 1st, so I'm thinking this was August 1st, 2024. Just a little witch. I think I was trying to get the inspiration flowing for a costume design for 2024, which is also later in this sketchbook. I also drew just random items, and then I really like this girl. She's a pumpkin girl laying like off her couch on the phone, which is so scream coated, and her shirt says boobs, which I think is funny. Some 3rd grade level humor for you all. Continuing on, we are still in the same vein of the spooky season. I think this was also done on the same day. See, I wrote it down. I think these are some of the first spreads that I did in the sketchbook, which is so random. Why is it this far in? Like, hello? Why did I do that? Anyways, I was just drawing myself because I was in my spooky season feeling at this point past last year, which I am every year, to be fair. But like this, I was in there. So I drew myself just so ready for the spooky season. Pumpkin coffee, knife, the obligatory spooky season accessories. I was also drawing myself in just like a little cute goth outfit, the kind of stuff I wear when things get spooky. And I'm here with a scythe for some reason, which is also very fun. And then I also drew the little Halloween Town comic, but with me and my brother. Why are you so obsessed with Halloween? Halloween is cool. You have to do it. I love this. I thought it was so cute. I should do more of this. I am just sometimes not very creative with little comics in my sketchbooks. Here we have an extremely random page that I don't really love how it came out. I think I had big plans for this whenever I first made it, but then I got intimidated and I didn't finish it until like yesterday. So this is just a page of Rhaenyra from House and the Dragon and her lovers. We have this guy. I don't remember what his name is right now. I think it starts with an H, but I was just really studying some like cute poses off Pinterest, and then I was like, let's just make it hot D coded. So here is the same thing. I think all of these are referenced at Rhaenyra and Alicent getting just wasted in the keep, as one does with your secret girlfriend. And then we have Mr. Incest Freak. I don't know why I drew that, and I do feel the need to make a public apology. Sometimes you're just like, oh, I'm making fan art, and then you forget how like reprehensible the characters in your show are, and you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't draw that person. Anyways, I don't really like this page. These are cool because they're more rendered. These, I think you can tell my heart was not in it, unfortunately, but I do like this pose. Silly pose referenced off of Pinterest. Here, I think I also started this one like last year because that's when What We Do in the Shadows ended. This is just a bunch of Nausea stuff because I love her. She's my baddie queen. Again, this is a bit of a mixed bag page, which I feel that way about a lot of the pages in this sketchbook. I think somewhat because like I did different drawings on the pages at different times. So like this one I did a super long time ago, and I think I was more feeling my artistic, you know, I was in the zone then. So I think this one's pretty good. It looks like her. It was also like referenced, which is helpful. And then some of this other stuff I actually did more recently and I don't like it as much. Like this one I think is cool, but you can tell that my art style is like fluctuate. Like, who is she? What is going on? What is my identity? My artistic identity is swept up in who knows what right now. I don't know. But I think that it's realistic. It happens as artists, and it's important to show and share with you all. Now, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. It just makes you feel weird when you're in these periods of artistic flux, because I do think that they come before like advancements in your art style or your knowledge base or whatever. Mostly for me, because whenever I see this, I go, I feel like I suck right now. I should probably practice, which leads to an increase in knowledge, or at least temporarily. I don't know. But I think that it's a good step to have, and it happens to everyone. I don't think these are bad drawings by any means. They're just like not exactly what I'm going for all the time. Although I do think the color scheme on this page is fun. Here we have more Hot D stuff, which this is another page I did absolutely forever ago. I don't even remember. Well, I don't know when the last season came out. It's been years, right? Am I wrong? I'm not looking it up. I don't care. Anyways, this is, oh God, what is her name? This is our sweet sunshine child, the only good Targaryen baby. It's Allison's daughter. She's the sweet bug girl. Anyways, she's like making spooky prophecies, and I'm sure this is gonna sound like me describing some odd dream that I have if you're not familiar with the show, but if you're familiar with the show or books, you understand what is going on here. Spooky tree that is in the what is that called? It's called the courtyard, mayhaps. And then spooky witch lady who claims to be a barn owl, and I think I believe her. Anyways, this was a gap before that was not there, so I added some florals and filled it in. I think it's a nice spread, very random. This is all ink and ballpoint pen and acrylic paint marker, fun stuff. Excuse me, I had to breathe for a second there. I got sick a while back and I'm still congested. Anyways, so here I was kind of messing around with medieval art, which has been a big, obsession of mine for the past several years and still is, and I'm trying to add more of that flair to my art style. Just like the tapestry of it all. I love a tapestry. Fun fact, my brother uses tapestry as a synonym for like spectacle, which I think is fun, and we should adopt that as a culture. But I just wanted to draw my own little like medieval scene with a bunch of animals, mythical creatures. This was very doodly, and honestly this is pretty close to some of the stuff I used to draw, because I used to mainly draw animals, and I miss that a little bit. So there's a couple more animals in the sketchbook, and I don't know, should I draw more animals in the future? Let me know. I like it. I think they're fun. And over here, this is all the way from a vacation that I was on last year. I was at the lake with some friends, and we were just hanging out a couple of afternoons doing our own thing, and so I did like a little spread of just like fantasy items, just things that would be in your adventurer's pack or your alchemist pack, that sort of vibe. And I think it came out looking super cute. I had a really fun time working on this, and I don't know, maybe I might turn this into like a print or a similar concept at some point. Let me know if you would be into that, because I love just a collection of little items and trinkets. I think they're so fun. This is a weird page that came to pass because there's some art on this page before that I didn't really like, and I didn't really feel like painting over or finishing or whatever. So I have all of these photographs left over from my collage wall that I got printed by Walmart like years and years ago. I have a bunch of extras just left over. So I taped a bunch of photographs in here and kind of like collaged them, and then I drew and painted on top of them to make them spooky, and just add like, some cryptids and spooky little guys. This was just a picture of a pumpkin on someone else's mailbox in my neighborhood. It was not a jack-o'-lantern before, just a pumpkin. So I drew some little ghosties around it. We have a big spider. We have whatever the heck that is. I think he's fun. We have a kraken, skeleton, mothman, this spooky guy. I really like him. And then just a mysterious crimson peak looking fella in this hallway. I have mixed feelings on this page because it is mostly photographs that I didn't draw, but I also hate having white space in my sketchbook, and I thought it was a fun idea. So it's just like a little creative exercise. Like just paint or draw something into a photograph and try to make it blend in as much as you can. I think it's fun if you want something a little bit more brainless, or to like fill space where you're like, I don't like that other drawing, let's get rid of it. Here's another fun, lovely spread, again doing like some more building type stuff. Ugh, whatever. Anyways, fantasy cottage, beautiful. Actual cottage that I referenced off the interwebs. Again, I am pretty sure it's real. If it's AI, well, I'm trying, but anyways, I don't know if these two are referenced or not. I actually don't remember. I might have just been drawing, but this one took a lot of my will and my soul. So I think these, I was like, let's just do some grayscale ink stuff, because I have one of those, like, is it called a Pentel pocket brush? Is that what they're called? I don't know. I like to use the ink with that and water, like a never-ending like watercolor black pen, and do this. Which is probably actually one of the things you're supposed to do with it. I just, that's what I did. Continuing on, we have Yellowjackets fan art, because I watched that show this year and I absolutely love it. I'm hooked. I love these crazy ladies. They scare me. So I drew all of them. And I can't wait for the next season. I don't know how long we're gonna have to wait for that, but I'm very excited about it. cool show. If you haven't seen it, if you like witchy stuff, if you like a mystery, if you like ladies who do cannibalism, it's a good watch. It's not, you know, hey, trigger warnings, I guess. There's a lot, it's a little graphic, but it's fun. And then this page is one where I did this sketch forever ago, probably one of the first things I drew in this, and then I went back and finished it recently whenever I got my new set of acrylic paint markers. So that's what all of this is, just scenes from Sleepy Hollow because I love that movie. It's one of my favorite spooky films. So I was just drawing Ichabod and, oh my god, I know her name. It's on the tip of my tongue. Hold on. Katrina Van Tassel. I don't know why I didn't remember that. I did have to Google it, but I think these turned out pretty cute. I like this more illustrative style that I can do with acrylic paint markers, and I need to get more, so I have more of a color range. I feel limited because so many of them have like a very similar value range, and it's bothering me, at least the set that I have. So here we just have a page of random faces from Pinterest. I usually do at least one page like this in my sketchbooks because I just, you know, I need practice with faces a lot. Sometimes I forget how to draw them, and I again, was just in a state of style oscillation. So yeah, you know, it happens. You can tell that some of these are done at different times because I think most of the ones with this black ballpoint pen were done around the same time, and then these were done around the same time, and then purple pen were done around the same time. I think you can tell these are like a little bit better, which I did do these more recently, so that's good. I don't think my faces are too bad right now, but these are also referenced, and it was during a good art day, so who knows. I also tried to use alcohol markers here, and I don't think it turned out very well. I don't know. I just, I'm getting better at using alcohol markers, and I used to use them all the time, but it was for more of an anime style, so like rendering more realistic stuff is a bit of a struggle sometimes. Anyways, here we have another messy page, which is super chaotic. We have an Ellie and Joel sketch that I did here, which I literally noted here on a sticky note that I ripped out that it was on a bad art day. I was trying to warm up before I did, I think, digital work, and I think these are okay, considering I did them with like the pen that scares me, because it doesn't really have like the same effect as this other pen that I was using. It's harder to sketch with because your marks are like so permanent, but they're still a little I think the Pedro Jewel is pretty good. Pedro Jewel, that's challenging for me to say. Anyways, the rest of this is just some wolf studies, because wolves are a bit of a comfort subject matter for me, because I used to draw them all the time, so I got pretty decent at it, and I don't draw them very often now, but I'll whip them out once in a while and just draw some wolves, because sometimes I don't need reference, sometimes I do. These I think are all referenced. Sometimes I draw something like this, or this, and they look like a not wolf, and you're like, what is that? Oh, that's scary. This is a mixed bag page. I don't think it's terrible, but it's also like, meh, all over the place. Anyways, oh my gosh, the exposure. Let's see if I can actually show this. These were some warm-up sketches that I did one day that I think are a little questionable. I was just drawing some witches, and I think they're cute, but again, they're just like, it doesn't feel like my art style. It feels like such a simplification to the point where it kind of bothers me, and I don't love how they look. But I did sort of put some interesting colors on them to silhouette them and make it look more visually interesting in my sketchbook, because before it was just black pen and it looked like nothing. They're fine. This is the sketch plans for my Halloween costume from last year, where I did like my cathedral vampire vibes costume, which I think, you know, this was a fun concept sketch to do. I left it pretty basic and mostly just pencil because I was really just trying to come up with ideas here, because I was really at a loss last year for my costume. But I came to something interesting, I think, but you know, it's fine. I think most of my feelings on that one are that they're fine, and so is this spread. These are more of my stickers. We have bat eyeballs and vampire lips. Again, you cannot buy these. I think you can buy a version of these, but they're not holographic and they're not big. I don't know. Anyways, let me know if you want to buy those at some point, because I do think they're fun designs. Okay, so here we have a page where I was drawing the executive producer as like a humanoid cat girl, which I think turned out super cute. I think this is so adorable. It really captures her like being, if she was a person, tormenting me, trying to get me chicken. And I don't mean to like bring this video down or have any sad news, but I've only posted about it like a little bit in my community tab and like on my Instagram story slightly because I, you know, have been sad. But the executive producer did pass away back in July of this year. She was like 17 years old, and she had developed some liver problems because she's just getting old, and she was a rescue, so I don't know what kind of conditions she was living in or what she could have been exposed to before I adopted her. So it is just one of those things, you know, it's very, very sad. I'm sorry to anyone who has to figure this out this way. I am gonna make a memorial video at some point to celebrate her, maybe put her into some beautiful artwork because she deserves it, but for now I have just been sort of like privately, you know, going at my own pace for this because this has been very hard and I miss her so much because I had her for like all of my childhood basically. So you know, this is a very emotional page for me now, but I do think it's still very funny, and I can laugh at if she had thumbs it would be over for all of us, because it's very true. Anyways, over to a lighter note, which I think is very much needed. Here I drew this outside of my sketchbook because I don't remember what was under here. I think it was a creature design, yeah, and I didn't like it, so I put this over it. This was referenced from another piece of art on Pinterest that I kind of like switched around and adjusted to fit my characters a little bit better, but these are just my spooky OCs sitting down watching a scary movie, and these two are unbothered, and Jamie is just horrified because he's a sweet boy, too pure for this world, not made for scary movies. But I think this is a cute sketch of them. I like doing interactive poses of characters like this. It shows off their personality, and I think this group is really fun to draw in situations like that. Also, so it didn't like cover up the whole page, so around it I just drew the assortment of snacks that I think they would be consuming during their spooky movie marathon. So some ramen, popcorn, Flamin' Hot Cheetos, which are my drug of choice, and like the trolley gummy worms. These things are so freaking good. I don't buy them very much because, again, similar to Flamin' Hot Cheetos, they're trouble for me. I'll say it. Anyways, here we have a page of mostly my vampire girl OCs, the one based on the strawberry dress and the black dress. I drew them in this just super silly pose that I saw on Pinterest. I love finding the most unhinged poses on Pinterest and drawing my OCs like that. If you ever don't know what to draw, great way to just practice a ridiculous angle, a weird dynamic, and like still have like a cute little interactive drawing of your OCs. But here's, you know, they're probably like drunk on some human blood or something, and they're having a good time at the soiree. But this was fun to do. I did this again. Acrylic paint pens and alcohol markers kind of mixed together, which is becoming like a method of doing color work in my sketchbook that I really, really like. I'm enjoying it a lot so far, and I do need to like find more acrylic paint markers because I love them, and I still haven't settled on a brand that I really like that doesn't run out super quick. So if you guys do have recommendations for acrylic paint marker brands, leave them in the comments because I want to try some more. These are fine. I'm not going to mention the brand because no free promo, but they're okay. I wouldn't necessarily recommend them. So this is just a random vampire girl that I drew during a D&D session. I don't know if I like this. Her hair just looks kind of weird. The pose is stiff. It's fine. I like rendered it a little bit with some shading. It's just okay. And then here again, I did a little pose study of my vampire girlfriends at the beach of all things, which is like very out of character for two vampires who cannot go in the sun. But I think it's kind of cute, just the contradictory nature of this pose. You know, maybe they go to the beach at night. I love that. The beach at night is so dramatic and beautiful. But again, this is referenced from a pose. I thought it was cute. They're adorable. Moving on. Here we've just got some studies of like archery poses and then just a bunch of medieval weapons that I kind of haphazardly like rendered a little bit, but mostly got bored during the rendering process because, again, I don't have the best range of like grays and things that will like denote tonality for something like a weapon. I need to get more markers that have better like value ranges in them, but I still think this is fun. I do like the stark white for the reflections. This, and some of these I think are fun. And then I think some of these poses turned out okay. A secret for you all, I literally finished these up this morning because just this was here and this was half sketched, and I was like, oh, I should like fill that in more because I don't like how it looks just bare. Here we're getting there, and there is the obligatory Arcane fan art because I was working on this I think around February of this year, which is when I finally watched Arcane season 2. I was waiting for like some people that I was watching it with, so I didn't get to it until a while later. Like we finished it so late and I was trying to dodge spoilers left and right, but a bunch of different Vi's done in different mediums and at different times. I think I did these a while ago. These a while ago. And I did these more recently to kind of just fill it out. But I think this is mostly alcohol markers, and then this is like a combination of inks and like some white pens and stuff. I really like this pose. It turned out pretty cool. And I like that one too. It's dynamic. It feels like her. Sometimes I draw Vi and she's not buff enough. I need to push her buffness more because she looks like that. She doesn't look like that. And I think she turned out pretty buff here too. It's harder to denote buffness with the jacket on for me sometimes because as far as I've been drawing, like as long as I've been drawing, I should say, I still struggle with fabric sometimes, and I should fix that. But I don't like studying fabric. Of course, we have a Vi spread. Gotta have a Jinx spread. Jinx, is sometimes my muse. She's just really fun to draw. She has a really dynamic design and silhouette and everything, and she's fun to draw in different poses and stuff. So here, trying to do a little dynamic gun pose. This is referenced, trying to like capture form a little bit and kind of put Arcane's art style into like more of a lined art style like mine. This is also referenced but put into my art style. We have a business card, and then we have some like other little doodles of her, which I think are fine. Pretty cute. And then I don't know what that is, but it's here. Here's another little Rose Thornblade spread. I don't know why I said her name like that, but again, I think I was just bored, so I was drawing my comfort character, and I think these were all done after I redesigned her. This was done before, because this was like her old armor design, but the face here, and this is also old. The faces here, these look more like her newer face design where I actually mapped it out, and I have like more of a set face structure for her, so I think I was practicing these. These are all kind of old, I can tell, because the armor design is older, but we also have another Lady Epi sticker in here. Always a wench for chainmail, which is very true of me. Hell yeah. Oh, and here's another one, another dragon. These are fine. Here we have some burbs. I don't know if all of these are crows. I think that's what I searched up whenever I was doing these studies, is just like crow pose or something. And then I was just doing, again, acrylic paint pens, alcohol markers to do some studies and kind of do some reflections and stuff. I really like how these came out. They came out so graphic and they look like old comic art, sort of. They're fun. Birds are fun to draw, actually, even though they're still challenging for me. I'm not great at drawing birds. We have a random Spike. I don't know why he's here, but he's grumpy. And then this was a fun process to do. This is like not something I would normally do, but I was just taking alcohol markers and drawing like silhouettes of Jinx, or kind of just color blocking in like the skin tone, the hair tone, and building up poses that way. I think I did like a slight undersketch for these, but it was mostly carved out with just the markers using form and like shapes and stuff, which tends to be how my brain sees things a little bit more than like lines. And they're not perfect, but I think they're fun. They're pretty cool, pretty dynamic poses, especially like these two. This one's a little wonky. I don't know what her hips are doing. The hips do lie in this case, but I really like these, and I love doing a set of like puzzle pieced sketches, which really does follow well into this spread because we have two puzzle pieced sketches type spreads. That's hard to say, but here we have bug spread because I am basic and I am a bug girl. Specifically, I love a moth most of all. I was just drawing a bunch of different moth species that I really like, and some other things like ladybugs, centipedes, beetles, roly-polies, cicadas, bee, grub. I forget what you're called, but you're here too, and I appreciate that. This is a camera overheated. Very cool. Bugs. Did we talk about bugs fully? I don't know. I really like these bugs. Acrylic paint markers and alcohol markers together. And that's the same thing over here. I was just doing some flower studies from Pinterest. These are all referenced from a photo and then put into art. That was such a stupid sentence, but I had so much fun working on like all of these, and I feel like I'm gonna be drawing some more nature studies in the future because I have fun with them, and it's something that I feel like translates well to my art style, and it's just, I love color. I love this, and not this Pantone color of the year garbage. We cover it up with color. I don't know. Okay, we're moving along. Again, more color, an explosion for the eyeballs. And here I was just drawing, I think at first this was just a bunch of studies of workout poses, and then I said, actually that's boring, I don't care. Let's turn them into fae. So all of these ladies were transformed into fae of the wood with, you guessed it, acrylic paint pens and alcohol markers. And generally I think these turned out pretty good. I like some better than others. Like I like this girly, and her. I think this one turned out the best just because the colors sort of vibe pretty well. Again, working with a limited palette is not always my strong suit because I'm used to digital, and digital really coddles you with the limitless color palette of it all. These middle girls are a little bit less, I guess, visually pleasing to me, a little bit more random. I still think they're cute. I like what I was attempting here. She's supposed to be a dragonfly fairy, but I also ran out of space for some of the wings because again, I didn't plan these. They went from workout ladies to fairy ladies, so it is what it is. But I think they're still cute, you know? And I'm still getting used to working full color in my sketchbooks, so it happens. Here, I did this a pretty long time ago as well. I was just drawing a bunch of outfits that I have worn that I like. I think I did this earlier this year, probably last winter, I don't know. But all of these things are actual outfits that I have worn and very much like. And I just was like, I'll do like an outfit of the day, but like a bunch of them and from many days. So I think these turned out fun, pretty cute. I like the way I stylized myself. I definitely struggled a lot with proportions here for some reason. Again, the art style of it all. The consistency eludes me, but I still think this is a very cute spread. Here I was doing some studies. Initially in the sketchbook was really like, I'm gonna practice perspective and form and like really try to challenge myself, and then I ultimately ended up doing very little of that in this sketchbook. Maybe we'll get to it this year. Hopefully I will, because I still have a lot of interest in doing that. I just didn't have a lot of time, but here I was trying to practice sketches with a little bit more form and perspective to them. This one sticks out. You know, these, I like some of these. I think they're pretty dynamic generally, but they still have plenty of struggle going on, as you can probably see. It's okay. It's a process, but I can feel the art struggle emanating off of many of the pages in this sketchbook. And this page is, you know, not exempt from that. Here I was doing studies from Pinterest of a cosplay that I just thought was cool, and I don't know what this is from. I'm sure you guys know what this is from. Tell me what it's from. I don't think they'd even said it on Pinterest, but I just liked the cloak and stuff. I drew a sword here. I didn't know what to put here, so I just drew some like a little vine thing with my paint markers. And then here I was trying to draw like a dynamic hose, and then I didn't like it, so I painted over it and I turned it into rose, which I think is cool. I think it turned out pretty cool and okay. It's like the most neutral thing you can probably say about your own art, my gosh. I drew a wolf behind her for no particular reason. And then this sketch I was trying to do something more interesting and dynamic, but then I didn't like how it was coming out, so I sort of like didn't really go very far with it. It's, again, just okay. And then here, I had an extreme, like, Ansai perspective of Rose, and I hated it. So I covered up with this, which is not a sketch that I like much more, but again, just a little sword lady pose referenced off Pinterest. What can I say? I was struggling a lot during so much of this. It's fine. Here's a bunch of studies off Pinterest again, which I think most of them are pretty decent. Again, they have more form, more dynamicism, but I also did these months ago, maybe even last year. I do not remember when I did most of these, but I did go back later and I had added like the blues and the pinks to make it like more harmonious and more visually pleasing, and I quite like how that came out. I think it came out pretty cute. And then this is the most random thing that you can put on a page in the sketchbook, and that is my Christmas card that my brother gave to me last year. We have this tradition where we give each other weird Victorian Christmas cards, and that's what he gave me, so that's fun. I also started that, so he totally stole my idea. Okay, this spread is actually the spread that I did for my Skillshare sketchbooking class that I released back in January of this year. So And this spread, basically, we were doing like a bit of a character design exploration thing where I was like coming up with prompts that I like, you know, came up with myself, and then I came up with like a dice rolling system within the tutorial class thing to kind of mix and match character traits to create a new little character. And then I also included some dice rolls for like little trinkets that you can add to your whimsical page, an animal companion, stuff like that. I wish that I had come up with a little randomized system for like mediums. I didn't, but in hindsight that's a good idea. But anyways, this was a fun spread to do. This process for this spread is in that class. If you wanna, you know, go take the class, I'll have a link in the description. I'm very proud of it, put a lot of work into it. I think it's helpful if you're a beginning sketchbook artist or you just want to get more into spreads. That's really what I cover in that class, so go check it out if you would like to do that. And if you do, thank you so much. My battery is dying, oh no. I have been recording for too long. Again, more Arcane stuff, more headshot study type of things. We're so close to being done too, hold on. Okay, new battery. Here we just have a spread of different face studies, mostly from Arcane. These I just did with some ballpoint pens, which these are more recent and I really like how both of them came out. It feels a little bit more like my art style. I also did this one a bit more recently, direct photo study of Caitlin from Arcane. This is referenced. I don't remember if that's referenced, but here I was also trying to do like the whole Farron meme. I think that's what it is, but like the low angle thing, which this is not as extreme of an angle as the one of the original artwork. I do want to try that meme at some point with like a more earnest attempt, because also an angle that I really struggle with, I cannot draw faces super low angled like that, so I need to work on it. Anyways, these are sketches that I did a while ago and painted over with my new acrylic paint pens. I think this is all acrylic paint pen, or at least mostly is on both of these. And this is a random girl. She's not from Arcane. I just drew a random girl here and colored that in as well. But I just colored in Vi and Mel here in this sketch of Jinx. I didn't feel like coloring in. I think because I like how the line work is here anyways. Another Jinx spread, because I love drawing Jinx again. These I think are all mostly referenced from the show. I don't think that one was. I think I was again trying to draw a low angled face, and don't look at that. It's fine. We're still learning that, because I avoid drawing stuff like that like the plague, but I really like how this one turned out. It's at a bit more of a dramatic angle, and I think that it turned out pretty accurate. I like the forms that are going on. Again, this is directly referenced and everything, but I really like that. So I didn't paint over it or anything because I just want to leave it raw with the line work. And then this is a sketch that I redid several times to try to like get it right. I was directly referencing this from a screenshot, and I finally, I think, got it okay, and then I painted over it with my acrylic paint pens and my markers. So this took a couple of tries, but I love that scene. I love the shot. I think it's so pretty, so I wanted to draw the whole fish bones shot and make it proper. And I really like how this one came out. Like, the colors look pretty nice. It's stylized a little bit more to be in my style. I really like how fish bones itself came out. I think the lighting effect comes across pretty well. I'm a fan of that one. I think it's cool. Here we have a very minimal sketch that are just like very, very basic plans for my Mothman cosplay that I'm working on. So I don't know how accurate this is to the final design, because this was like pretty much the first thought that I had for this like cosplay. So I'm gonna iterate on it a lot more, probably do some more designs. But the part I really liked was this top of the scythe that I'm working on for him. I think it's cool because I kind of combine a scythe and a lantern because moth jokes, and he's also like Grim Reaper inspired, at least my interpretation of this design. So this will probably come out a little bit close to the original design. Also, I modeled this after a bridge lamp. Bridge Mothman lamp. I thought that was kind of clever, so that's where some of this design inspo comes from. And Mothman himself, we are still working on, but hopefully I'll finish up that cosplay sometime this year. It's a big undertaking. And if you don't know I do cosplay stuff, I also do cosplay stuff. I've already made his stilts. Yes, mechanical stilts for him. Well, they're a work in progress too, but I've made most of them. That video is live if you care. Anyways, here's some more studies from nature that I really, really like how they came out. Just drawn some fungus, because like any self-respecting weird girl these days, I love a fungus. I think that they look nice, so I drew them. it's really deep when you think about it. But I was just trying to capture colors and that sort of thing mostly here. Nothing too fancy. None of these are like super detailed. I was just messing around with my new toys, and by that I mean my acrylic paint pens. I like these. I like the puzzle piecing of it all too. I think it's fun. Here is another spread of like nature studies, mostly fruit, but then we also have some florals here. This is the exact same reference that I used for this other one also. Where is that? This one? You can see that my comfort level with these two mediums is completely different, because I like this one that I did with the acrylic paint pens so much better than this one that I did with gouache. Again, these are gouache, and I just struggle. I don't get it. Gouache, what? Hello? Anyways, they're okay. I think they're just fine, but I do not love working with gouache. I think one of the reasons is just like, I run out of paint so quickly I can barely do anything with it. Even if I use it a little bit more wet, like a watercolor. Maybe that's a brush problem on my part. I don't know. I'm trying, but gouache eludes me still. Here, we only have a couple pages left. We just have some Buffy fan art, a bunch of Buffys, and some sketches of Faith. Here is mostly trying to stylize Sarah Michelle Gellar's face to look a little bit more like my art style, but still like get across her features, which I think I was somewhat successful, like here and here. But it's funny, I think these two look more like Sookie Stackhouse, because I started watching True Blood a month ago or something. And these are kind of giving Sookie, actually, now that I look at them. But, you know, they have similar vibes in general. I like these for the most part. And then I was trying to draw Faith, and I don't like these. I don't know. I just, Liz Dush. Her face is hard for me to draw for some reason. And some of the references I was using were just a mess. I don't know. I don't like that pose a whole lot either. The proportions are messed up. I don't want to talk about it. It's a work in progress. I was not having a good art day when I did these. Here's a crazy spread, which I think is pretty fun, ultimately, where these are just a bunch of my character Quintessa, but she's like in her villain era. Her villain outfit's one of the things that I designed whenever I redesigned her reference sheet this past year, or like this past year. So I finally did her actual like dark Quintessa design or whatever, because that's part of her story and lore, even though I haven't fully fleshed it out yet. So I just wanted to draw her in that design a little bit more, because I haven't really done almost any of that. So I was just doing some action poses with her in her design. I think these turned out quite nice. They're not super detailed, but I was also working with my acrylic paint pens, and like I said, they have like a limited range of colors and values. Like, I really only have like so many grays and blacks with that set, which is upsetting because her design would require a lot more of those to like get the depth across. But I substituted purple in a couple of places. It looked okay. I don't know. It's fine. But overall, I think these turned out pretty fun and cool. I especially like the hair, like the fiery nature of that, because she is a fire character, like almost all of my characters, because I am basic. But I think these are fun. That's like not insightful at all, but that's okay. Here we have another one of my fire characters, my character Ruby again. She's like a half vampire slayer. She's very blade coated, which everyone immediately pointed out to me after making her, and I did not even realize that whenever I first designed her, but it's fine. I like an homage, even if it's unintentional. But yeah, she uses like fire to burn away the bodies, because they don't just disappear in her universe like they do in a Buffy universe. She uses fire to cleanse it, so she's got like a cool alchemy tattoo on her arm that helps her ignite, you know, a vamp that she has slain. I like it. It's cool. She also has, this scythe is also a flamethrower at the end, which is very Ruby from Ruby coded. But I think these sketches turned out pretty fun. They're sort of done at different stages of her lifespan, because she's a half vampire, so she ages very, very slowly, but she still ages. So I have a lot of fun with drawing her in like different eras. So that's fun stuff. Now we're almost to the end of the sketchbook, but these are the first concept sketches that I ever did of my current D&D character, who is Azarius. I have an entire design video of him up on my channel right now, where I did the digital reference sheet. I did all of his outfits and his designs, and his little like cannon companion that is shaped like a dog, which is adorable. I love how that came out. But This is the first sketch that I ever did of him. And I did this when I think we were setting up our character sheets or like brainstorming, like one of the first few sessions. And I did that. I said, oh, we're getting there. We have captured him. And it kind of just sprawled out from there. I think I did all of these sketches during that session, just messing around, trying to get close to how I would envision him. And I really love these. I think that they are like, you know, pretty consistently on model for him. And they really helped me kind of like design his final reference sheet. So if you want to watch more of him and hear a little bit about like who he is, you can watch the video. It's on my channel. Maybe I'll have it linked. I don't know. We have reached the back of the page, and I didn't really do a lot of like art on this strictly. Sometimes I just like to mess up the front like page and the back page to like, you know, lessen the intimidation. And on this one, I did a bunch of taping in little mementos and things I've saved from the past year. I have movie stubs. I have like little wristbands from places that I have been. I have receipts from some hiking trails that I've gone to where like admission is paid. I think this is either a trail or a cave that I went to. I don't remember. And then I also did some sample prints of some lino blocks that I carved that I've used on other things. So I did just see like how it prints before I actually use it on the actual fabric, which is normally what I print on. This is also a print that I got for free from Simca Soul whenever I ordered my desk pad. This is from a different thing I ordered. This is from Fennec Design. This had stickers in it. Does it still have stickers in it? Oh, this has the empty things from the stickers. Okay. This is the sleeve the stickers came in. And this is another one of my stickers that you might receive if you ever find me in person at a convention or run fair. This is inspired by my Libra Witch build, which is the first like real costume build I ever did on the channel, so it's very nostalgic for me. Also, I have some leaves from my home city of Pittsburgh. I visited there last December, and I literally just brought some leaves back and taped them in here. Random fortune cookie fortunes from eating at restaurants. And then this is a car that I think my partner drew, and I just thought it was cute. He didn't want it, so I taped it in here. Anyways, very random back cover to the sketchbook, but I like to just mess it up. I like keeping stuff like this because then it doesn't get thrown away and it's memories. You can go, oh yeah, that's when I did this. Anyways, with that is the end of the sketchbook. Again, like I said, not a very long one. My sketchbooks are never... Oh, that's fun. Very helpful. Thank you, sketchbook. I'm gonna have to fix that now. Cool. Anyways, I don't tend to work in very long sketchbooks because that's scary and intimidating, and I like to do sometimes more finished work. So I hope you enjoyed this tour. I probably yapped for plenty of time, so I hope you were drawing or doing something creative while you did this. And if you don't keep a sketchbook, keep a sketchbook. They're great. They're really helpful. And remember that the evil poison robots cannot touch your traditional art, especially if you don't show it to anyone and you keep it in your sketchbook. So it's also like, to me, an act of rebellion. Obviously I've shown this to you, so the evil poison robots have seen this now. Maybe a little counterproductive, but you don't have to show yours, so that's something. Anyways, like I said, if you want to take my class, maybe we'll put the little class promo in here right now. I recently began my first sketchbook of 2025 with a lot of big drawing goals like improving my structure, perspective, and line work this year, and maybe even with the goal to complete more than one sketchbook, hopefully. Which is why I am super excited to announce that I've partnered with Skillshare to create my own class on my sketchbook habits and process to help you get inspired and begin your own sketchbook journey. My class is called Sketchbook Regularly, Create Character-Driven, Colorful Spreads, because that's the kind of work I love to create in my sketchbook. Even if the page I initially create focuses more on studies, I tend to fancy it up later. And in this class, I'll share the habits that help me fill sketchbooks on a regular basis. I'll give you a tour of some of my favorite sketchbook spreads from across the years, and you'll create your very own 2-page sketchbook spread along with me. As someone who creates art content for YouTube on an almost weekly basis, staying in a creative mindset and avoiding art block is so important for me, and I am not kidding whenever I say that my sketchbook habit has helped me with that so much. Collage. So if that sounds interesting to you and you want to check it out, my class is now finally live, and the first 500 people to use my code PricklyAlpaca will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. So sign up with my code if you want to check out my class for free. Anyways, with that, thank you so much for watching till the end of the video. I hope you are having a safe and healthy holiday season. This is my last video of the year, so I'm about to go hibernate permanently for the next 2 weeks at least. So I'll be back with some videos in January, but I hope that you rest and hibernate as well, and I appreciate you all. This was a really great year for the channel and a really great year creatively, so I can't wait for next year to be even better. I have some fun stuff planned, so look forward to that and subscribe if you want to see more of any of the weird stuff I do. Anyways, final thank you to all of you. I appreciate every single one of your eyeballs that watched this or any of my videos this year, because you make my little silly art dreams possible. And as always, the biggest thank you for this video and my art and my operation here goes to my patrons, and especially my executive producers. Give them a round of applause. They keep the lights on around here.
Puddinghead, This Is Exhausting, Eileen, Hestaboom, Doomsday Outlaw, Alfred Nightingale, Ty Bear, Cinderus, Speak of the Devil, Tiro2, Donna Shipley, Mystic, Scribble, Mushroom Sita, Ghastly, Galaxy Stardust, 035, Luxabar, My Name is A, Miss Fenris, Nylon Nom, Cyrus Orion, Jenny Craftsma, I Do TKD, Ren, Band Off the Yellow, Cloud Max, Velly Smelly, Stabby Horse, Kibi Jeebies, Cardia X, Christina Kimtia Art, Fiasco, Mossy Raven, Silver, 2 Prism, I'm not saying that name on the internet, ABW Mix, Icegavan, Awendu, Liana, Ermler Jean, Breeza, PNG Not Found, Freedom and Gus Gus, Dodo, Agent Sketchy, Thea Maia, Lovisa, Eloquent Silence, Sushi McNushi, Hypno, Sweet Winter Garden, Gravity Drop, I Hang Out with Cats at Parties, and Bean the Bread.